Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Ghoul MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo and Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, we're just gonna dive right on in. Of course, we got NXT Gold Rush Part One, and also AEW Dynamite, the Go Home Show for them, leading into Forbidden Door, the big event that's gonna be put on joint production of New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW that's going down this Sunday night uh, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, live on pay per view, live on BR Bleacher Report in the USA and Fight TV around the world. So, with that said, we'll start off with NXT, and we started off with a hell of a fight. It was Wes Lee versus Tyler Bate. Special guest referee was Mustafa Ali, and it was for the NXT North American Championship. The winner of the bout in 13 minutes, and still the North American champion was Wes Lee. It was an excellent match. Great way to start the show. Good fight, solid battle, a little bit of a kooky ending, thanks in large part to Mustafa Ali. But the man got the job done. He won the match. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can say this. I don't know how you're going to play this. I mean, maybe triple threat down the line. I don't know. But Wes Lee takes down Tyler Bate, and yo, this was a good one. Three, at least three and a half, 3 3/4 for me. Could have gone four, but the finish kind of left a little left to be desired. But still, a banger to start off the show. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, while it was fun to have Ali's antics as referee, he did take away from the action in moments. This is likely fueling the story of his obsession with gold, but it did stop two of NXT's best from having a great title bout. In particular, the pacing of this contest was sloppy. Both men would go down in moments just to let Ali play to the crowd. This led to a 13-minute match that felt like it needed a lot more time to reach top gear. Still, the two men did their best with the story and continued one of NXT's most compelling angles. This is far from the end for these three. Ali pulled out 2 fast counts to start the bout and then a slow count, causing both Wes Lee and Tyler Bate to look at him with skepticism. Tyler Bate ducked the cardiac kick and hit a rebound clothesline for a near fall, and that's really all there was to it. I'm gonna take the rating a little bit down here. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. That's the rating for this. Slight overscore, but not too bad. So that's all I can say on that. 3.25, 3.5. Michael Bullock, with a regular referee, this would have been a banger instantly. But Mustafa Ali, his antics kind of took away from this a little bit for me.
Yeah, you can say that, but I still thought it was a really good match, no doubt about it. I'm gonna go 3.5. I think 3 3/4 maybe is a little bit of a reach, but 3.5 is definitely my rating. It did take. Yes, it did take away from it a little bit with Mustafa Ali, but yeah, this match I thought it was still good. When you got two guys like Wes Lee and Tyler Bate here. So I'm just going to go 3.5 on this one. So nothing more to say. Let's move right along, Fletch.
Next fight of the evening, this was the triple threat to determine the number one contender and the team that will get to fight the Gallus Boys next week on NXT on the Gold Rush Part 2. It was Josh Briggs and Brooks Jansen, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, and Idris Analfi and Malik Blade. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 9 minutes and 12 seconds was Malik Blade and Idris Analfi. They get the title shot. They get the opportunity. They're going to get to fight the Gallus Boys 1 week from now. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Chaotic sprint, which made it fun. It could have used a few extra minutes as the ending felt abrupt, but everyone brought their best to make the most of the spotlight. Blade and Anafi are good stopgap challengers to Gallus until the family is back together. However, they have little chance of winning. Hopefully, NXT has more plans to rebuild Blade and Anafi soon, as they have lost too much momentum recently. Briggs and Jensen remain the only credible team of these three, but the other two can rise with time. Briggs and Jensen dominated the action in the ring for much of the match, requiring the younger teams to work around them. And after the match, in a backstage moment, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo confronted the Gallus boys, promising to take their NXT Tag Team Championship. Something to keep an eye on for the future. But this was a solid 3 stars, and as we always like to say, a very fun little sprint, although it was a little more than a little sprint. They got a decent-sized sprint here. So solid 3 for me on this one. So there's nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, we got to channel our inner Jerry the King Lawler from the Royal Rumble 2006 after Ray won it. As we always like to say, biggest win for Anafi and Blade to date. Could it lead to an even bigger win next week? I don't know.
Yeah, 3 stars for me on this one. I thought it was a good match here. I mean, yeah, biggest win for Anafi and Blade, but could it lead to a bigger win? I don't think so. I mean, look at they're going up against the champs, the Gallus boys, and it's going to be. They're really going to have to bring their A++ game against them. But even with that, I think it's going to be very tough for them. So I'm sure they're going to give it their best, but I definitely see the Gallus coming out victorious in this one. So 3 stars. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it will be Gallus that's going to win it. But this was a 3-star bout. This was excellent. This was a good matchup, solid fight. I actually enjoyed it. I'm a little surprised that they were going to go down that route and say giving it to Idris Sanafi and Malik Blade. But there's been a little bit of them kind of hinting about some dissension among the ranks. Maybe this might be something good for us to see down the line. So we'll see. But yeah, that was a huge win for them, and they needed that win. They needed that more than anything else, to be real honest with you. All right, guys. So let's move right on along. Cora Jade going one-on-one with Dana Brooke. Cora Jade winning the match, 10 minutes and 46 seconds. But Michael Bullock, the fight almost ended early, where Dana Brooke suffered a pretty nasty knee injury. Cora was yelling, she's faking, she's faking, she's faking. Maybe faking or not, she was able to goat her back into the fight, and unfortunately for Dana, she might have done more damage to that knee than probably should have been warranted.
Yeah, if I were her, and I know how much you like Dana Brooke, Fletch. I mean, I wouldn't have gone through with it. I mean, if you knew that a knee injury was going to be really bad, I mean, but obviously Cora Jade being you get the picture of who I think of her.
Yeah, you don't need to say it. I know where you're going.
Yeah, she had to be that to goad Cora Jade back to go Dana Brooke back into the ring to finish it. Probably not the wisest of moves, but I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars just because I mean the way it was. So I mean I can only hope and pray that it's not really that bad, but with the way they stretched it out, Fletch, as I give it to you, it looks to me she suffered a pretty serious knee injury.
Well, we're wondering if this was storyline based or if that was a legit injury. Right now, we haven't heard anything from WWE. We have not heard anything from Dana. So it looks like this is probably storyline purposes is what happened there, which is fine. If that's the case, hey, That showed she had guts, she had heart, she wanted it to finish the fight. Obviously, the goading of Cora Jade, basically yelling at her, saying that, you're faking, you're faking. That kind of probably got under the skin of Dana. That, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna shut this girl's mouth up. But it also put a bullseye on that leg, and Cora made her pay for that. It looked like the knee bucked during one of the moves. That's why she went down, and even the referee kind of called for the medic. He didn't put the X up. That's the big thing, though. He ushered for the that was a major thing. He called for the medics, but as you notice, he never put the X. That means it was not a legitimate injury. This was storyline purposes. So, maybe this is right to keep her off for a little bit, which is fine. That's good. I know a lot of people kind of on Dana Brooke about the work ethic than anything else, but she's been in WWE for a number of years now. Yeah, she had that run with 24/7 title, with the 24/7 nonsense, but she still is trying to work. She's still trying to do it. And the thing is, I think going to NXT is a blessing in disguise. She could redevelop herself and get better in the ring. And you can see that I thought this fight was better than any of the matches she's had on the main roster. So maybe this was a good thing that this happened, but we'll wait and see how it plays out. This was about maybe a 3-star bout. Anthony Florio, I give it to you.
2.5 to 3 stars. I 100% agree. Cora Jade did the heavy lifting in this match after an awkward injury angle. She focused on playing the taunting heel to the point that it made sense Dana Brooke would risk it all to get back into the match. It wasn't much of a contest, but assuming the injury is kayfabe, this was a better way to handle it than a traditional bout. Brooke needs more character, and Cora Jade came off better than she has in a while as the unsympathetic heel. And Jade continued to mock Dana Brooke as officials came in to help her. Despite the extended stretcher sequence, the dueling crowd chants for both competitors still favored Cora Jade. So this was about 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. So with that, MF, what's next on our docket?
All right. Well, I don't talk about segments or anything else, but
this one we have to. Absolutely have to.
All right. Von Wagner. We finally got the payoff. We finally found out what that baby picture photo was. The thing with Mr. Robert Stone. We were waiting for it. We wanted it. We got it. God damn, was that a segment, man? Yikes. You know what? We said it once before, how you can make a vulnerable moment and make us relate through that type of situation. Anthony Bullock and myself, about a couple of months back, we all talked about our experiences, as young children, persevering, overcoming odds, defects, whatever you want to say. We finally got the payoff last night, and damn, it was so. This is why when you have a segment or a moment and you can relate, Von Wagner is definitely gotten such a very sympathetic figure now. Like, he opened up that Pandora's box and talked about what he was going through or what happened in his life. Dude, 1000%. Totally relatable. Totally get it. Absolutely. Like, I was like, wow. I was like, all right, there it is. Well done, guys. Like, I don't think there's anything more to say. I mean, Anthony Florio, we were begging, pleading, we're like, when are we going to get the payoff? When are we going to get the payoff? When are they going to reveal? They revealed. And boy, wow is all I can say because I was like, I don't know how you guys felt. Yeah, because I know you guys have your NXT chats or whatnot. And
Not
I would,
really.
huh?
We don't really do NXT chats.
Oh, not NXT. Okay, but man, if you guys did, I would love to have been a fly on the wall to find out your feelings because me, I was like, woof. I had to take a deep breath after that segment because I was like, wow.
One of the greatest segments in the history of the show. I mean, this was a smart segment and a great segment that put over Von Wagner better than anything else to date. And I know, we've had difficulties. We've had there have been times where I'm sure we've all been made fun of in life, and because of appearance or other reasons. But hey, for anybody out there that has ever had to go through any BS like that in your life, that segment was for you. And we don't usually see segments like this much in wrestling nowadays, but this was a great segment. And I know there's a lot of people that may not be a fan of Von Wagner's, and I get that. I understand it, but this is their way of wanting us to have sympathy for him and building him up as a sympathetic babyface here. I think that's what they're trying to go for here. And I came out of this segment more with more of an understanding now of Von Wagner. So to hear about what he had to go through as a little baby man, I mean, that gets you right here. That hits you hard. And we've had some things like that happen to us in our lives, and that we mentioned, when this whole thing first started. But yeah, this was, like I said, this goes down as one of the greatest vignettes in the history of the show, and a vignette that I strongly suggest you guys go out of your way to watch. I mean, if you like redemption stories, which I do, and underdog stories, you guys know how I feel about that. I feel like I'm an underdog in life, but hey, for this was unbelievable. This was very well done, and now I'm even more intrigued than I was before, and I want to see more. So I'm hopeful that next week we get the continuation of this, or if not next week, then sooner down the line. But regardless of when, this story's far from over. There's more to this story than meets the eye here, and I want more of it. So all I can say is powerful segment, great segment, and this is definitely a segment that you need to go out of your way to check out. So very well done segment. So Von Wagner, I'm rooting for you, brother. That's all there is to it. You got three guys here who are definitely rooting for you and rooting for bigger and better things for you. So there's not much more for me to say on this. Michael Bullock, all I can say is one of the greatest vignettes, segments, whatever you call it, in the history of NXT. This was absolutely well done.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, this is definitely one of the greatest segments I've ever seen in a long time. I mean, I can't even imagine what Von Wagner went through as a young child, young baby. I mean, now it makes me want to root for the guy. I mean, I want to see him succeed. I mean, with everything that he went through in life, I mean, it's how can you not root for him? And it's like a powerful story, and and I definitely want to see the continuation of this and what more that we see from this. And I'm interested to see how they go with it next week, or if not next week, maybe somewhere down the line. But yeah, Von Wagner, I mean, I feel for you, man, and I'm rooting for you, and I hope for good things for you. So Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
All right. And with that said, we do indeed move on with the show, guys. After that, the next official match, because we did have some promo stuff after that. Then we had was uh, Valentina Ferraz and Lucina Leon. They went up against Jackson and Lash Legend, and it was the heel squad winning the match in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. We don't really need to talk about this one. By default, this was the worst fight of the night. And it leads us to the main event of the evening for the World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh.
NMF, it's Seth freaking
Hey,
right.
give him an A for effort here. I mean, Florio, come on now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all
Yeah,
right.
A,
That's
A
all right.
for effort. A for effort. Absolutely.
That's
Just
all
having
right.
fun with him.
That's
That's
all
all.
right. That's all right. Yeah, I know. I
Hey,
know. Because that's normally
props
Froyo's
props
thing.
to you,
Honestly,
Fletch, on that one. I give
huh?
you an A plus for effort, my friend. I mean, for you to do it, I think it was good.
All right. Thanks. Thanks. I probably won't get another opportunity to do that again. Just saying, because when do we ever see Seth freaking Rollins on NXT? Probably hardly
Or a
ever.
pay-per-view.
Or huh?
Or if we get a pay-per-view recap, then you
Then I'll
host
get
the
an
pay-per-view.
opportunity. But this is my one shot. So hey, I had to take it. He goes up against Braun Breaker, and when it was all said and done, Seth freaking Rollins gets the job done, successfully defends the World Heavyweight Championship, 17 minutes, 6 seconds. But then at the end, Finn Balor jumped Rollins. He jumped him, attacked him, only to get stopped by Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams after the match was over. Anthony Floyo, get your butt back in here. You're leading off on this one.
Yeah, right.
Seth Rollins successfully defends the World Heavyweight Championship, but oh my God, Finn Balor in NXT. What the hell is going on?
Oh boy. Well, 7 years of anger and frustration, like we talked about Monday nights. So let's take it one bit at a time here. Fight of the night, 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Avoiding unnecessary interference. This match did not slow once it got going. The first 10 minutes could have moved faster, but the final 5 made up for it with a great showcase of what Braun Breaker can do in big matches. It was the best the former NXT champion has looked in a long time. In a very traditional WWE main event, they traded big moves, and Breaker nearly got the win off a spear and military press slam. However, it was not quite enough. It's a shame after putting over the abilities of the challenger that he was shoved aside for Rollins' next opponent. Post-match would have worked better as a moment for Ilya Dragunov to get some welcome revenge. Still, as a whole, the main event was the saving grace of the night and may be enough to get more people to tune in the next week, NXT's more impressive Week 2 card at Gold Rush. Rollins made Breaker wait and basked in the crowd, singing until the bell rang to signal the in-ring introductions for the match. Did you ever see a more festive atmosphere with that song, guys? I mean, you thought here in Providence back in March was something. You thought WrestleMania and SoFi was something. You thought Puerto Rico, Backlash, or Saudi Arabia was fun. I think that was the most fun we've had for an atmosphere with the Seth Rollins theme song than any other atmosphere I can ever remember. So, man, that was fun. But again, we'll have to wait and see what those crazy Euros in London do at Money in the Bank. But the champion was working a little slow as he sold his rib injury from Monday night. Breaker went for a spear, but Rollins ducked and sent his challenger's shoulder first into the steel post. The champion went for the curb stomp, but Breaker ducked outside. Rollins caught him outside with a clothesline, then frog splashed him through the announce table. 2 commercial breaks broke up the match. It's a shame WWE could not get limited advert time for the main event. Breaker ducked a frog splash and locked in a Steiner recliner. Rollins made it to the ropes, but then took a Frankensteiner into the military press power slam to nearly lose. Rollins countered the spear with a knee, then hit a pedigree for a near fall. The second attempt at his spear hit, but he still could not get 3. One of the best NXT TV main events that you will ever see. It was hyped as one of the biggest main events, if not the biggest main event in the history of NXT television. And damn it to hell, it lived up to the hype, guys. No doubt about that. Michael Bullock, take a bow on this one. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. This was easily the fight of the night, and definitely set the definitely has set the bar. It'll be interesting to see how week 2 of Gold Rush follows up next week. So, what an incredible match here. So, I don't know what else there is to say. 4.25, 4.5 stars. All right, Bullock. First things first. That atmosphere. Wow, what an atmosphere that was with that song. Oh my goodness! And then with Seth freaking Rollins winning, you know we got to do it. Seth freaking Rollins. Whoa.
Whoa.
What an atmosphere with that song. I think that's the best atmosphere I've ever heard that song. Wow.
Oh, man. I mean, that's something that the Capitol Wrestling Center hasn't seen in a long time. I mean, when that music played, they literally sang along with the theme, and Seth just ate it up. And as he was back home where his career got started in NXT, but you also got to give Braun Breaker credit for putting up a really good match. Well, Seth Rollins, we know what he's capable of, but Braun Breaker, for him to go through a challenge like Seth Rollins, he definitely deserves some props here. I mean, that's definitely one of the best matches I've seen on NXT in a long time. I mean, it definitely closed out what I thought was a really good night 1 of NXT Gold Rush. I'm interested to see what night 2 will bring next week. So, but then, like you said, after the match, Finn Balor, I mean, you talk about a man possessed. I mean, he was definitely possessed. I mean, he's like I don't know about you, Fletch and Florio. I mean, he was like a freaking madman, for gosh sakes. But then again, it's all about 7 years, folks. 7 years since SummerSlam 2016, when of course when Finn Balor won the first ever Universal title, only to have to relinquish it for the next night, and Finn blames Seth Rollins for that, and he's waited 7 long years to get his retribution and to take the title from Seth freaking Rollins. But it was amazing. I mean, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, they chased off Finn Balor. I mean, you did see a backstage segment where the two literally have respect for one another. So Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams basically chose to chase off Finn Balor. So I don't know about you guys, but after seeing that, I mean, you know Finn Balor's going to be upset about Hayes and Williams sticking their nose where it didn't belong. So, I mean, I could smell maybe Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams against Finn Balor and maybe Damian Priest of the Judgment Day. Because you know Finn Balor's going to be like, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, you two stuck your nose where it didn't belong. So, I don't know. I mean, I could see that happening. So maybe not now, but Fletch, what do you think? As I give it to you.
I was thinking, you know what? I know it's beneath Balor, but maybe Balor and Carmelo Hayes NXT title next week.
I'd be up for that.
I mean, I know it's not I know it's not the world. I know it's not, he's got his eyes glued to Money in the Bank and to become the world heavyweight champion, but maybe give him a fight. I don't mind Balor and Damian Priest versus Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. I think that would be an excellent tag team fight. But you're talking Gold Rush. NXT title has not been put on the line yet. Maybe you do it this way just to give the fans a little appetizer, something to
Well, remember, Carmelo Hayes has got to defend it against Baron Corbin next week.
True. So, well, I guess we can do that. So, I mean, that's so yeah. I mean, but I think this might be just a one-off. I don't think we're gonna see that unless they do something down the line where they might do it. But I just don't see it happening just yet. But we'll see. But Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes did come out to save Seth Rollins after the beatdown, and yeah, so solid main event. At least 4. So yeah, and Michael Bullock, you lead off on the overall review.
Well, first off, I forgot to get my rating. 4.5 stars on the main event. So just want to get that out of the way. So as far as the overall thoughts go, I thought this was a really, really good night one of Gold Rush. I mean, you had some. I mean, you only had one bad match, and that was the women's tag team match. Other than that, everything else I thought was solid to good to even great when it comes to the main event. So I'm gonna give this about maybe 7.5 to 8. I mean, I'm interested to see what night 2 of Gold Rush next week is gonna bring. I think the bar was set for night 1. Night 2, you definitely got some work to do to try to see if you can top that. So Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, this was easily 7.5. I thought this was an excellent show. I thought they could have done better in certain areas, but I thought they did really well. I really got nothing more to add. So yeah, so Anthony, quick thought.
7.5 out of 10 for me. The bar was set high for Gold Rush. While week 1 could not quite meet those lofty expectations, this was still a marked improvement on recent weeks. On a night with multiple big matches promised, it was a surprise how much the segments and vignettes trumped the in-ring action. Von Wagner only got 2 minutes to speak with Mr. Stone during the show. Yeah, he may have gotten more over in that time than any other moment in his career to date. Baron Corbin made a statement at the expense of Carmelo Hayes, building himself up as a serious challenger for the first time in years. Meanwhile, Wes Lee versus Tyler Bate could not live up to the hype. Cora Jade versus Dana Brooke was more of an angle than a match. Even the tag team triple threat was rushed. However, it all came down to the main event, which delivered in spades. Braun Breaker looked like a world beater, elevated to the role of main roster threat by the end of his big title bout. Next week, Gold Rush will hope to deliver in a bigger way, thanks to a strong week 2 card that includes Carmelo Hayes versus Baron Corbin for the NXT Championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Thea Hale for the NXT Women's Championship, and Nathan Frazier versus Dragon Lee for the Heritage Cup. How about that? So I'm going on the record. That's going to steal the damn show next week, but we'll see what happens. But this is an easy 7.5. I agree with it 100%. So with that, MF, it's Forbidden Door week in AEW, and the first stop on that, the other big arena in Chicago, Illinois, the Wintrust Arena, AEW Dynamite newsworthy show. Let's go.
Yeah, started it off with the Guns going up against the Hardys. The Guns winning the match in 7 minutes. Thanks to some interference by Juice Robinson and Jay White. Look, yeah, they didn't need to do that. They didn't need to go down that road. It was a good match. It was solid. And then they pulled the rug out from under us. It was only about a 2.5-star match. It was a little bit disappointing. Could have been a lot better in certain areas. I was thoroughly disappointed with this one. They didn't really need to do the overbook but they did it. Then we had a big brawl after that. FTR got involved. CM Punk got involved. So, I mean, it was fine for what it was worth. I just didn't really think it, it wasn't, it was a fine match, but it wasn't, it could have been a lot better. I mean, yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Starting a show with the Hardys and the Guns is not necessarily going to inspire a ton of excitement, particularly in 2023. But as it turned out, the match was the setup for a post-match brawl of greater magnitude. The crowd in Chicago was red hot for everything that came after the bell. And CM Punk brought an energy to the segment unmatched by anyone else on the screen. To quote Jim Ross, business picks up when that guy is on the TV, and the 8-man tag match that results Saturday night on Collision will undoubtedly help elevate the significance of the second episode of that show in Toronto. Robinson and White emerged from out of nowhere and shoved Jeff off the ropes. The Guns capitalized on the interference and delivered 310 to Yuma for the upset win. Starks, FTR, and Punk made the save for the Hardys, clearing the ring of the heels before the latter issued a challenge for a 8-man tag on Saturday's Collision. And CM Punk said simply, "I'm a Collision guy. I'm not even supposed to be here." So that's obviously what's going on with the whole roster thing. So Saturday night on Collision, we got CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks squaring off against Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns in Toronto. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night with that. So 2.5 stars. I 100% agree with the ratings. So Michael Bullock. That happens. CM Punk shows up, and we got ourselves a big 8-man tag Saturday night on Collision.
Yeah, we definitely got a big one Saturday night on Collision, but yeah, I'm with Fletch on this one. I mean, this to me was only a 2.5 star match. I mean, to me, and I'm with Fletch. It didn't need the interference there. I mean, it did take away from it. I mean, but like you said, Fletch, unfortunately, we got it, and there's literally nothing we could do about it. So it sets up that huge, like you said, that huge tag team 8-man tag Saturday night on Collision. So we'll see how that goes. So nothing more to say. 2.5 on my rating. It is yours, Fletch.
Next up we had was Jeff Jarrett versus Mark Briscoe in a concession stand brawl. Mark Briscoe winning the match in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Another 2.5 star match. There was a ton of interference on behalf of the heels, but here's a story. I'm gonna go into professor mode here. Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee versus the Blonde Bombers. This was not. Mark Briscoe battled Jeff Jarrett in a match inspired by the concession stand brawl from 1979, but more closely resembling an overbooked WCW hardcore division mess from the year 2000. There was a ton of interference on behalf of the heels, followed by a babyface save before culminating in a schoolboy roll-up that felt blissfully simple in comparison to the hardcore mess that preceded it. A feud that once had charm has, like a few other storylines over the course of AEW's history, has drawn on too long. Mark Briscoe, Papa Briscoe, and Aubrey Edwards defeating Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, and Jay Lethal last Friday on Rampage really should have ended this program, but it stretched one match too long, and the result was nowhere near as fun, unfortunately. The effort from Briscoe and Jarrett, two grizzled pro wrestlers, will always be enough to warrant an average rating, though, and so it does. Karen interfered and was followed by Sanjay Dutt, who shoved Briscoe off a ladder and through a table. That moment turned the tide in favor of Jeff Jarrett for the moment. Jay attempted to interfere, and Papa Briscoe stopped him, delivering a choke slam to the former Ring of Honor world champion through a table at ringside. Satnam Singh delivered a choke slam of his own to Mark before Christopher Daniels, the best friends, and the Lucha Bros made the save. Mark scored the win off a schoolboy roll-up. 2.5, maybe 2 3/4. That's the best I can give this. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, your boy Sanjay Dutt, he got involved, but thankfully it did not play into the outcome. Mark Briscoe getting the win. 8.5 minutes, 2.5, 2 3/4.
yeah, thank goodness. Even though I'm going on the record, and you and you boys know, I still can't stand that little idiot Sanjay Dutt. I mean, when I saw him show up and he interfered in this, I'm like, can somebody find something to shut this guy up, because this guy just annoys the living daylights out of me. And you want to know what's worse? That little bitch known as Karen Jarrett. Yeah, I actually did call her that. I mean, it didn't need all that. I understand it's part of the. I mean, there are no rules in this, but come on. If Jeff Jarrett's really that tough, why did he need? Why did he need the help of his cronies? But it is what it is. So 2.5 on this one. I'm with you, and yeah, this whole thing should have ended with that mixed tag that we had. So it is what it is. So let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt. 2.5 is the right rating. It was fine for what it was worth. I liked the scope of the story that they did, but yeah, the interference really just depleted it and just made me very uninterested about the fight. I kind of felt like it was there. It was nothing amazing. Could have been better in certain areas, but it is what it is. So we'll just leave it at that. Then we had was Darius Martin, Action Andretti, and AR Fox. They went up against a powerful team. Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, and from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Minoru Suzuki. When it was all said and done, it was the heel team winning the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I thought this was a fine match. I'll give this about maybe 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. I mean, like I said, good match. I mean, it definitely could have been better in some areas, but yeah, no surprise about the heel team here. But then after the match, I mean, it was Jericho laying down the challenge, saying that him and Sammy Guevara and Minoru Suzuki wanted to face Sting and Darby Allin, and whoever a partner that they could find. Sting and Darby Allin come out, and the challenge is accepted. And the funny thing, guys, that this will be the first, unless my memory serves me, my memory's all messed up. Would be the first time ever Chris Jericho and Sting will be in the same ring in an actual match. Am I correct on that, Fletch?
I have not I don't ever remember them facing off in WCW. I think this is a first time. Anthony,
Wow.
I know you're more professor than we are, but I'm pretty sure Sting and Jericho has never faced off. I think this is the first time.
I believe you're right. I mean,
so with all everything they've done in their career, there's one thing they've never done: face each other in any kind of match. And no now video. We're going to get a forbidden door
in a 6-man tag.
Yeah, I mean, but the big question is, who's going to be the partner? Do you have any idea, Fletch?
Man, I mean,
we got to wait till Saturday to find out.
Yeah, it's a New Japan guy. It could be anybody. It could be an AEW guy. It could be a New Japan guy. I mean, the rumors are going to start. You're going to hear a whole bunch of names from here on in. I don't know. I don't know who it could be. That's the
like you said, we gotta wait until Saturday at Collision to find out who it is.
Yeah. I'll say one thing for sure. I hope you know what? I would say this. There's one guy I hope it is. Honestly, truthfully, it if it's him, I'm going to lose it. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to have to hold me back because I'd probably be marking out like a nut. Because there's one
Who's
guy.
that him you're talking about?
Huh?
Who's that him that you're talking about?
I mean, I know it's not going to be Muda because Muda just retired. Unless they bring him back. One night only. I mean, that's one guy I thought of. The only other one, and I know Jericho's really going to hate this. Los Ignobles de Japón.
Oh boy!
I'm just going to leave it there.
If it's that person, if it's that person that you're talking about, oh, Jericho's probably going to lose his damn mind, and not in a good way.
Let's just say, tranquilo, accepte. That's what you just need to know. If it's that guy, it's about to be a bad night for Jericho and company. Because if it's him, let's just say that it basically, I'm trying to say it without revealing it. Let's just say that. I gave the fans a hint on one. I think somebody might be taking a ride through Destino if it's him. So that's all I'm saying. I'm dropping it. Nothing more. Anthony, did you get in on this? Just want to make sure.
I don't think you've given a rating on the match.
What? About 3 stars is my rating. That's it. Floyd, go.
Yeah, 3 to 3.25 stars for me. I'll be honest. This was the first match on tonight's show that felt like an AEW match. Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara defeated Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and AR Fox in a fun, energetic party tag match that featured high spots, dramatic near falls, and a win for the higher profile trio. The babyfaces were allowed to show off a bit before succumbing to the veteran prowess and ability of Jericho and Suzuki in particular. The match gave way to the latest between Jericho and Sting, who had their first face-to-face a week ago, and Sunday at Forbidden Door will be on opposite sides of a massive trios match as Les Suzuki Gods battled the Icon, Darby Allin, and a partner of their choosing to be named on Saturday night's Collision. Based on what we saw tonight, that should be a lot of fun here. Let's see. Suzuki and Jericho mocked the latter's pose with Guevara, who looked on unenthused. Andretti renewed his rivalry with Jericho, exploding into the match and taking the fight to him. Jericho caught Martin and applied the Lion Tamer in the ring, while Suzuki punished Fox with an ankle lock on the arena floor, scoring a submission win for the heels. And Les Suzuki Gods are challenging you and Darby Allin. If anyone will team with you to find a partner and face us Sunday at Forbidden Door, Jericho said, issuing a challenge during a post-match promo with Renee Paquette. 3.25 stars is the rating for this match. The first good match of the night here, no doubt about it. And man, it's always a pleasure to see Minoru Suzuki wrestle. And now I'm not trying to, now a little off the subject here, but this is something I've been wanting to say about Minoru Suzuki for some time. Is it just me, or does Minoru Suzuki's head resemble like a bowling ball? I mean, it has the look of a bowling ball. I don't know why, but it just does.
Yep.
So, I mean, that guy's got like a bowling. Every time I see him, I always say to myself, bowling ball head, because he has that. His head looks like a bowling ball. I'm sorry. I just gotta call it as I see it. Tell it like it is. So.
Oh,
but
agreed. You're right.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I mean, it looks like a bowling ball. You could just roll that sucker down the lane for a strike or whatever. 7-10 split, what have you. So, but all kidding aside, 3.25 stars. And I to be honest, I don't follow New Japan like MF does. We know MF follows it religiously, and I've heard of Los Ingobernables de Japón. I don't know which guy MF, which particular member of that faction MF is talking about. maybe he could drop it in the chat or something, and then we could, maybe work off that. I don't know, but Saturday night, gentlemen, we will find out who will team with Sting and Darby Allin against Jericho, Sammy, and Minoru Suzuki. So 3.25 match. And like I said, MF, this was the first match on tonight's show that literally felt like an AEW match. The other two, not really. So with that, let's move on.
After that, then we had a tag team fight as it was Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia. They went up against Katsuyori Shibata and Orange Cassidy, and it was the heel squad. Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia winning the match at in 9 minutes and 22 seconds. Look, fine match, good battle, good fight, enjoyable matchup, and we're going to get to see all four of them battle it out at Forbidden Door, because it was announced that Orange Cassidy is going to have to put that title on the line, the international champion, the international championship on the line against all three of the men. It's a fatal four-way, guys. Sunday night, that's going down. That's going to be a hell of a match. Like I said, this is about a 3-star bout. Could have been better in certain areas, but, it's a rarity when you see Orange Cassidy making a mistake, and he did. Shibata got dunked at the end, and that led to the big victory. So nothing more to say. Anthony, 3 stars for me. What says you?
I agree. 3 stars for me as well. As soon as okay. Oh wow, where do I start here? So let's set the table here. Daniel Garcia and Zack Sabre Jr. dealt the team of Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata a significant loss tonight, and in the process set up another high-stakes match for Forbidden Door Sunday night. As all 4 men surrounded Cassidy's title, it was revealed on the commentary team that Freshly Squeezed will defend against the other 3. There was some background to be had here, given the interactions between all 4 men, even prior to tonight's tag match. So there is at least an argument to be made that it is a logical addition to the jam-packed Forbidden Door card. If that match is close to the overall quality we saw out of the 4 combatants tonight, fans could be in for a treat on a card likely to feature plenty of them. Garcia unloaded with a series of toe kicks to the injured left arm of Shibata, only to be down with a hard forearm to the face. And Cassidy accidentally rocked Shibata, who fell prey to a cheap roll-up by Garcia as the heels scored the win. Another 3-star match, and I don't know what else there is to say except Michael Bullock, Excalibur, made the announcement. Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr., Daniel Garcia, Katsuyori Shibata, fatal 4-way match Sunday night at Forbidden Door for the AEW International Championship, the workhorse title in AEW. And based off the matches that Orange Cassidy's already had with that title, this one could be an all-timer if all goes well.
Yeah, I think if this goes well, I think we're looking at an all-timer, especially with the way Orange Cassidy has made that AEW International title when it comes to his defenses of that title. So I'm with you, 3 stars on this one. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to add on to it. So let's move on, Fletch.
In-ring main event. This is the main event for the in-ring action, as it ended up being Chris Statlander versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS title. Winner of the bout in 9 minutes, and still the TBS champion, Chris Statlander. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. All right. Valkyrie spent weeks dismayed that Chris Statlander returned at Double or Nothing, eclipsed her efforts against Jade Cargill, and won the TBS championship that had eluded her. Tonight, she challenged the title holder and nearly defeated her in a hard-hitting, uber-competitive championship clash. The match, already one of the best TBS championship bouts in company history, saw a motivated Taya Valkyrie match Chris Statlander's intensity and aggression before falling victim to her devastating tombstone piledriver. Statlander scored a quality win. Valkyrie reminded the AEW fans of how strong an in-ring competitor she can be, and the women's division continued to build momentum. Statlander delivered a moonsault from the ring apron, wiping Valkyrie out on the floor. And the champion delivered a tombstone pile driver, now known as Wednesday Night Fever, for the successful title defense. So this was another 3-star or so match. So on a night full of them. So Michael Bullock, another successful title defense for Chris Statlander. Big question is, who's next?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, who's next? I mean, especially with this successful title defense for Chris Statlander. So we'll have to wait and see on it. But yeah, 3 stars for me. I mean, so yeah, there's nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Good matchup. About 3 stars. Really nothing more to add there. So we go into the main event segment. It was basically Bryan Danielson talking a bunch of stuff. Basically, they laid a challenge out earlier in the evening, as it would have been the 4 remaining members of the Blackpool Combat Club. Moxley, actually, it would have been John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta. They were going to challenge. Oh, and of course, Takesha. So they were going to go up against the Elite. So basically, Eddie Kingston's like, you know what? I want to team with the Young Bucks, or, team in with the Bucks, who I don't like or respect. Fine, whatever. But I don't like Claudio Castagnoli, so we'll do this. So he's like, but I got a partner. I'm picking the 4th man. Well, all you just did was you just brought out the pit bull. Tazamiro Ashii is the 5th man. Oh my God. What an announcement that was. That's going to go nuts. But then Blackpool Combat Club tried to get the leg up. That turned into a brawl. Then Danielson dared to bring out Okada. Either that or I was going to end Ashii. I was going to stomp a mohole through Ashii's face. You're messing with chaos, bro. Do you have any idea what the F you're doing? Yeah, you brought out the leader, the Rainmaker. Kazuchika Okada showed up, and basically it led to an early beatdown. Yeah, Danielson was going to go for that psycho knee. Okada was resourceful, got out of the way. Wheeler Yuta got it. Okada grabbed him, going for the Rainmaker clothesline. Nah, Danielson's too good for that. He basically rolls out of the ring. Next thing you know, Paul Wheeler Yuta's still in the ring. Okada saw the opportunity, set it up, lock, stock, barrel, Rainmaker! Right on him. Down he went. Turned him inside out. Could that be the scene on Sunday night? Could Bryan Danielson be Rainmakered by the man himself, I'll say it, the frontline soldier of New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the greatest of them all to do it. So we'll see. Mike Bullock, boy, what a wild way to end this show.
Yeah, this was definitely a wild way to end the show. I mean, first with Eddie Kingston saying that Ashii's going to be the partner. I mean, yeah, that's going to be something now with this tag team match at Forbidden Door, and then yeah, the Blackpool Combat Club come out and beat down both Kingston and Ashii. Danielson calls out Okada, saying, if you don't come out, I'm going to stomp a hole in Ashii. Now, earlier in the night saying that, oh, you haven't shown up, and if you don't show up, you're nothing but an amateur and a coward. Let me ask you a question, Bryan Danielson. And I'm going to bring this up to the guys as well. Does Kazuchika Okada look like an amateur?
Oh, nope. Hell no.
Does he look like a coward?
Nope.
Nope.
Obviously, Bryan Danielson hasn't done his homework on Okada because, like you just said, Fletch, this guy is the frontline soldier of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the last thing you want to do is poke the bear. Bryan Danielson just poked the bear, and he may have to pay the price come Sunday night at Forbidden Door when he faces off against Kazuchika Okada. And he got a first-hand look at it when he hit the Rainmaker on Wheeler Yuta. Bryan Danielson, that could be a sign of things to come for you on Sunday night. If you think this is going to be a walk in the park for you, you got another thing coming, boy. And I think after Okada beats you, he may make you look like the amateur. So there's nothing more to say. It is yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about the best of the best, or you want to talk about, the biggest name in wrestling right now, this guy's it. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been the PWI #1 wrestler in the wrestler of the year for the last couple of years. A couple of his fights already were 5-star classics. Actually, Meltzer actually gave it a 6 or 7-star for one of his fights not too long ago. This guy is former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and is, I believe, a 4 or 5-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in his career. So, I mean, this is not an amateur, Bryan Danielson. You're talking about basically the best of the best. You want to talk about, like the heart and soul of New Japan Pro Wrestling? This guy's it. There is nobody else. Now, you can say Hiroshi Tanahashi. You could say Tetsuya Naito. You can say, Evil, Sanada. Sanada right now, the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So there's a number of names that you can say. But there's one guy that is the measuring stick of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that is the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, leader of Chaos, which is, oh, by the way, the top group in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. I would say something, but I don't want to offend certain groups in New Japan. So, but anyway, but yeah, at the end of the day, this is going to be fun. Blackpool Combat Club versus Chaos. Ooh, that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave that there. This could be a heck of a battle. So, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, prior to the final break of the night, Excalibur promised that Eddie Kingston would reveal the 5th member of the team at Forbidden Door, while Bryan Danielson called out Kazuchika Okada. We got both, with Eddie Kingston revealing Tomohiro Ishii as his final partner. The two of them will be teaming up with the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page to take on Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Takeshita, and I forgot who the other guy was. It's another Japan guy that's going to be joining the BCC team. But the ladder exchange with Danielson and Okada, that was a bigger deal, obviously. That's all attention turned to the Rainmaker and the American Dragons confrontation. A little tease, a big Rainmaker to a stunned Wheeler Yuta, and a tense stare down between the Dream opponents put a nice bow on the final build to Forbidden Door. Most interesting in all of this was the interaction between Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, who are friends but find themselves on opposite sides of Sunday's 5-on-5 battle. Expect to see some high drama at some point in the bout as they either make amends or come to blows on one of the grandest stages AEW has to offer. Eddie Kingston yelled at Jon Moxley, "You drew that line, not me. I love you. You're my brother. You drew that line, not me," reminding the former champion that he chose to align himself with Claudio Castagnoli. Eddie Kingston revealed Tomohiro Ishii will join him, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page at Forbidden Door. And Kazuchika Okada made the save for Tomohiro Ishii coming face to face with Bryan Danielson ahead of Sunday night's Dream match. They stared each other down to close out the show, but not before the biggest star in New Japan laid out Wheeler Yuta with the Rainmaker. Incredible segment of the night. Although MJF and Adam Cole had another great segment earlier in the night. So, but this was a great way to close it out. So, not much more to say over review time, gentlemen.
7 out of 10. I mean, like you said, the first two bouts didn't really do anything for us, didn't really excite us at all. But after that second bout was done, that's when the show started. So I would probably say the first half hour, not even worth it. Don't even skip it, screw it, whatever. There's nothing there for you to see. The final 90 minutes of AEW definitely is worth the time of admission, the price of admission, the time was definitely worth it more than anything else. So first block, like they say on the show, there's 4 blocks that you got to worry about. First block, pass it. Don't even worry about it. First quarter of that show was nothing to watch. The final 3 quarters of the show definitely was really, really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I can't say nothing bad about it. It was amazing. For me, they nailed it. Home run at the end. 7 out of 10. Anthony, go.
About 7, maybe 7.5. I mean, as the go-home show ahead of Forbidden Door, the overall effectiveness of the broadcast was going to be based on how well it sold the pay-per-view event to the audience. It did spectacularly well. There was a complete emphasis placed on hyping Sunday's show, with every segment dedicated to either announcing a match, furthering a program, or hyping a previously announced showdown. Sprinkle in some quality in-ring action, the 2 tag matches, and affected TBS championship battle between Chris Statlander and Taya Valkyrie, and you have a quality show that hit far more than it missed. So 7, maybe 7.5 for this. So with that, Michael Bullock, take it home.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. I mean, first part of it was, especially the first 2 matches were, skip it. But the last part of it was really good, and that's what made this a 7 out of 10. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's take it home and set up the content for tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night is TXN Sports World. We got a lot of stuff that's going down now. So we had 2 trades in the NBA. So we're going to get into that. Yep. Not only that, but we also got the semifinals of the USFL. The Big 3 starts this weekend. I'll be previewing that. And just added today, we're going to add this, the newest announcement of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Some new members just got inducted in. And for myself and Anthony Florio, one of our own got the call to Toronto.
And well-deserved.
So
beyond well-deserved.
Yes. So we're going to get into that. 10:30 tomorrow night, Tone 25.
Let me set the order for tomorrow night.
All right.
We'll do the trades. The NBA trades will go first. And then we'll get the Hockey Hall announcements. And then from there, MF, you'll do your big 3. You'll set the table for each one of the big 3. And then in our main event, it will be the USFL playoffs, the USFL semifinals, Final 4, guys. And MF, your Birmingham Stallions, one of those Final 4. So they are looking to make history once again, like they did a year ago. We'll see if they do it. So the 2 big NBA trades, the Hockey Hall of Fame announcement of the class of 2023. Loaded class, let me tell you. And then from there, MF will set the table for the big 3, week 1, which starts this weekend. And then finally, the main event, the USFL semifinals. So 10:30 tomorrow night, TXN Sports World. It's going to be something else. So Not much more to say. MF in with the rest of the future content, if you will.
Then on Saturday is once again another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live, AEW Collision, and then we also got 2 previews. We're going to be previewing Forbidden Door and the RWA show that's going down on Sunday as well. So we're going to have that. And then Monday, we do it all over again with Ridiculously Raw. So thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much, Michael Bullock. Thank you guys, as always. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. And until then, we will see you guys tomorrow night for TXN Sports World. Until then, have a good night, everybody, and so long.